Osiyo, it's how we say hello in Cherokee. I'm your host, Jennifer Lauren, at One Fire Field in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. The Cherokee Nation is no stranger to severe weather, and during storm season, we rely on weather professionals to keep us safe and informed. Cherokee Stormchasers Nacoma, Hutchison, and James McMullin have been tracking severe weather for more than a decade. They use their extensive knowledge and immense respect for nature to protect our communities.
Extremely dangerous and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, take cover now.
We can replace structures and everything else, but human life is priceless.
If I can keep one person safe, then it's worth it.
Just be aware of your surroundings, head on a swivel. Never know, it's Oklahoma.
We're out here to make sure, get ground truth of what's actually going on underneath these storms. To be a Cherokee and to be a storm chaser in the heart of Cherokee Nation, it really means a lot to me. Not only am I getting to protect the general public, but getting to do it in my home country, my home area. It just, something special about it. It brings a whole new meaning to it. I'm Nacoma Hutchison. I'm a storm chaser for Channel 8, KTUL out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Been chasing for them approximately 15 years. We are in Jay Public Schools at the high school in Jay, Oklahoma, home of the Bulldogs. I'm from Jay, born and raised, been here all my life, 37 years. As a storm chaser, there's several chasers all across the area, but one I work with pretty close is James McMullin.
I'm James McMullin, storm chaser for KTUL out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I live in Tulsa now and cover storms throughout the state of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kansas. A lot of times, I'll be chasing a storm, I'll pick it up out in western Oklahoma, and as it starts coming into the metro area, Nacoma will be coming in from the east side, and I'll hand that storm off to him, somewhere on the east side of Tulsa metro area. We look out for each other while we're out there on the road, so it's a brotherhood that we've established. A storm chaser is an extension of the weather service. We look at it as being able to provide information about storms, information about damages, information about what is actually going on to the people that need that information so they can notify the mass populations or the public.
We'll be watching the different weather models days in advance, looking for different weather patterns, and then as it gets closer to that day, the night before or the day of, we'll prepare gear, our computers, our cameras, any other instruments that we might think we need for that event.
I have a cell phone that I communicate with to the National Weather Service and to the storm centers throughout the state that I chase for. I also have a streaming platform, a phone that I can stream back to the station. They can see what I'm seeing and, provide those images to the general public so they're aware of what's happening out there. We have some hand instruments like to measure wind speeds and that type of stuff.
We just watch on radar what each cell is actually doing. If one's growing upscale a little faster, starting to show signs of rotation, signs of getting hail in it. We look for certain criteria, severity.
We just keep fine-tuning it hourly as it gets closer, and then we'll roll out.
And then once we are on that storm, we'll report back to the news station or the National Weather Service, or both, depending on what we see or what's needed at that time.
They depend on people to be out there on the ground looking at seeing the storm so they can report back because the radar doesn't see the bottom layer or what's actually coming at the ground. And so that's where we come in and let them know that we're out there and we can see, hey, we got a funnel cloud, or hey, we got baseball size hail, or that type of stuff. There's an extreme mental fortitude that you have to have because everything is like high stress or ever changing. Your head's on a swivel. I've been through the F5s and more. I've seen devastation, here within our Tulsa metro. And also the El Reno storm that ended up taking some storm chasers' lives. We're all out there trying to learn, how these storms act and provide that information to the public.
You basically prepare yourself for the worst and hope for the best, because each system is completely different. There's none the same. The one that has affected me the most was the tornado in 2019, May 22nd, that hit Jay, Oklahoma. That's my hometown, born and raised. Even as a chaser, I felt helpless that night. Even though I was doing everything I've always done, that was one night that it didn't feel like enough. That's the one that really bothers me to this day.
Today we are in Jay, Oklahoma at Jay Public Schools.
We are checking out the new storm shelters that have recently been put in. I believe it was around 2 years ago that school bond was brought up, and with there not being a tornado shelter in this area, I took that as an opportunity to try to help the school and the town get one in this area, because they are very important and needed in every community. As a citizen of the city of Jay, lifelong resident, this was beyond needed for this area, because there isn't one actually in the city of Jay at all. A lot of people ask me, where do we go? I get that question a lot every year, and up until now, we really didn't have an answer.
The advantage of having this storm shelter right here in the school campus allows us to have the community where they can come, be safe in a fully FEMA registered storm shelter. They can come seek shelter here, be safe, and then, continue on with their lives. As any storm approaches any community, I'm always thinking about the populated areas and what devastation or anything that could come from these storms as they roll into the area. I also concern about my friends, my family, and fellow citizens of the Cherokee Nation. When it's not storm season, we will gather at elementary schools, at weather expos, and so forth, and notify people about a preparation plan. They need to be prepared, because we do live in Oklahoma and weather is a factor that we all have to deal with. So we look at weather anxiety classes that we help the elementary kids so they're not scared and they have a plan when they hear the thunderclap. And same with the general public when we go to like weather expos and weather events. It's to bring them awareness and give them a plan, a checklist of things that they need to make sure that they have in their severe weather bags and so forth. When that moment happens, that they're prepared, and practice makes perfect. The people of the Cherokee Nation and of Oklahoma depend on us storm chasers to provide that information, make sure that they remain safe. So that's why we're out there doing what both me and Nacoma do.
For the ones that follow us, thank you. Thank you for trusting us with keeping you safe. That's what we do it for. It's not about getting the shot, the glamour, none of that. If I can save one person, then I did my job. Thank you guys for trusting us. We're going to keep continuing doing it. So follow us along the ride.